I declare this graduation ceremony is open. Please be seated. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, it's a great honor for me to be here today along with your families, friends, and loved ones to share the graduation of these young people entering the professions of allopathic and dental medicine and pharmacy, the mother of medicine. These family members, grandparents, parents, uncles and aunts, brothers and sisters, cousins and special friends have been your support system and cheerleading squad. Without them, you probably would not have made it. Today marks your graduation not just into a new profession, but more than in almost any other profession, into a new identity. You are a doctor. No matter what you do from now and out, whether you practice medicine and see patients, work in a laboratory, clinic, or apothecary, or leave science and patients altogether, it will now be a central part of who you are and over time perhaps the most important part of who you are. It was 4, 5, or 6 years ago when you came to Poland for the very first time. Those days were the beginning of your professional education, but also opened new horizons for your personal development. In the same time, it was a big challenge to you. Here, you have been exposed to a new cultural environment. It was not easy to learn under such conditions. Today, you may sum up this first stage of your professional career. I am very pleased to say that we win. I said we because I consider your graduation as a success of you and us, the faculty and staff of the university. Today, you are entering the new stage of your life. To be a physician or pharmacist is to be involved into professional activity different from all others. In short, you have to answer to yourselves what it means to be a good doctor. To be a good doctor is more than to be highly educated. It means to care about the patient as a person, to take the time to listen to him. Patients expect professional competence in medicine, science, and technology, want to be listened and to be understood, and want to be kept informed. Dr. Władysław Biegański, a great Polish internist of the 19th century, used to say, "Only a good man may be a good doctor." I wish you that all your patients will find you as a good doctors. Your education will never end until the last days of your professional life. The life of doctor is intense life. You are only human, but your life will be bounded up in others and in science and in the oft messy connections between the two. These messy connections between science and patients are not a good comfort zone for the physician. But that's what your life be choice. One foot in science, one foot in the fragility of humanity. Dear friends, I do hope that years you have spent in Poland allow you to understand our history, long-lasting tradition and mentality. I deeply believe that you will be very special ambassadors of Poland and Poznan, a city far from your countries, where you have been spending a few years of your youth. You remain in your hearts forever. Dear colleagues, I wish to assure you that you may always expect help from your university, and I wish you all the best in your future life, both professional and personal. We want to be in touch with you, so we established the Alumni Association. It will serve as us a link between the Poznan University of Medicine and its graduates and helps alumni stay in contact with our school. We are always happy to hear what our alumni are up to. If you would like to share your current pursuits with us and your fellow alumni, please send a note to our mail and we would be glad to post it on the university website. Finally, I would like to end with a quote of William Carlos Williams, the great American physician and poet. He said, "The doctor's job is to learn from the patients. If you let your patients become your teachers, you have gone more than halfway in the healing process." I leave you with the following blessing. May you have the spirit of wisdom, tolerance for diversity, compassion and understanding, the spirit of counsel and might, and the spirit of knowledge and love for learning, and of humility and the ability to listen and to hear. I wish you Godspeed on this next part of a life journey. Be strong, try very, very hard, do the right thing. Thank you very much.
I would now like to introduce Dr. Thomas L. Eaton, MD, FASA, FACPH, and invite him to deliver a speech.
Congratulations. This is a big event. The ceremony is to recognize your remarkable determination, focus, and extraordinary hard work over the course of many, many years. You have completed your school years toward becoming a physiotherapist, a pharmacist, a dentist, or a physician. Hopefully, some of you from each group have become friends with some from the other groups. Providing health care to our patients requires all of you, as well as nurses, technicians, and the many other ancillary staff members to work together. Not one of you is more important or more necessary than the other. I have been where you have been, and I have an idea of where you are going. Of course, your days and nights of apprehension, worry, sleep deprivation will continue. But you will also have the honor of assuming more and more responsibility for the care and treatment of your patients. This is a domain unique to those in medicine, providing care, guidance, and support to those who need you and need these things from you. The early years of your career are the most challenging. You'll do stupid things and you'll make boneheaded mistakes. We all do. It is only through the experience of feeling overwhelmingly incompetent that you will strive to become something better. Being a healthcare provider is truly a distinctive and valuable experience, and one reserved for the very, very few. To help you through the coming years of your professions, I will share with you my rules. I have 147. Being the professionals you are, you'll each develop your own, so today I'll share only 3. Rule number 1, don't be afraid to ask. If you're asked to do a spinal tap or a lumbar puncture, and you only saw it once as a third-year student, and you're not quite sure how to do it, admit it. Ask for help. No matter how stressed or impatient your senior physician seems, most doctors do indeed like to help and to teach. No one will remember you because you asked for help. On the other hand, everyone will remember you if you do a spinal tap and get not return of fluid, but of poop. Okay then, on with the rules. Here you are, men and women from around the world, graduating from this truly amazing university. For some of you, especially the Canadians, English is a second language. But you may have realized by now that much of medical education is really learning another language, the language of medicine. Patients may try to use medical terminology, but do not use it in return. Remember, there's only one medical phrase that everyone knows and understands: erectile dysfunction. That brings us to rule number 2. Speak English or Mandarin, Norwegian, German, whatever. Even speak Canadian if you must. But always speak the language of the patient. Make sure that the patient or family understands what you are saying. As an intern, I remember the family members asking the hematologist about their loved one, trying to appear somewhat knowledgeable, asking, "Does our grandfather have carcinoma?" The doctor, failing to recognize the limited understanding of the family, replied, No, he has sarcoma. Of course, carcinoma, sarcoma, lymphoma, they're all cancer. Unfortunately, the family was overjoyed with hearing the news, and it took a long bit of explaining for the hematologist to clarify his statement. In some English-speaking countries, gonorrhea, a common sexually transmitted disease, is referred to simply as the clap. Pretty much everyone in the United States knows what that is, and pretty much nobody wants it. But sometimes even common language can be difficult for a patient to understand. Many of you have learned about the condition of pneumothorax. To explain this to a patient with pneumothorax, we may say something like, an injury or defect has caused your lung to deflate, or we might say you have a collapse of the lung. But even that explanation may be misunderstood. Years ago, while asking past medical history from a military veteran at a Chicago hospital, I asked, "Have you ever had a sexually transmitted disease?" He looked a little embarrassed, shuffled, paused for a moment, and replied, "Well, yeah, once they told me I had clap of the lung." My wife always says a lie has short legs. I guess what that means, it cannot travel far and is quickly exposed. That brings us to rule number 3. Be honest, no matter how good your intentions. Be honest. A Polish woman living in England for decades was returned to Krakow upon retirement. She put her beloved cat in air cargo as she flew back to Poland. Upon arrival, the baggage crew unloading the plane discovered the cat was dead. Losing an animal in flight is a big problem for the airlines and especially for the crew and the cargo department. There can be many reprimands and extensive paperwork to complete. The crew were distressed. One observed that the cat was just a typical gray tabby cat and looked like 100 other cats in his nearby village. He drove home, found a cat that was strikingly similar, and returned to the cargo area where the new cat was exchanged for the dead one. The Polish woman grew increasingly nervous and impatient. Finally, the cargo people showed up with her small kennel. As they handed it to her, the woman immediately exclaimed without a glance to the cage, "No, this isn't my cat." "Excuse me," came the reply. Again, she said, "No, this is not my cat." The employees insisted it was her cat. The veterinary papers were there, and the kennel had not been opened since leaving London. No. I'm certain this is not my cat." The staff grew increasingly nervous, and one blurted out, "Why do you think this is not your cat?" The woman hesitated a moment, knowing she had done something illegal, admitted, "Because my cat's dead." So you see, both the crew and the woman were caught with short legs. With patience, be honest, but be honest with empathy and compassion. Even if you don't have the answer or the solution to their problem, be honest, admit it. Patients really do not expect you to know or to fix everything, but they do want your best explanation. I was born in a small town, Rochester, Minnesota. Minnesota is in the United States, way up north, sort of like southern Canada. But in Minnesota, we speak English. My best friend in high school was a guy named Bill Fifield. Well, Bill and I both liked art and photography. Bill's father was an artist, mostly painted in oils, and he was very good. They lived in a very old house, forever in need of repair. His father sold just enough paintings to support the family, but they certainly never lived the so-called American dream. One day, Bill explained, "My dad is an artist." He didn't want to be an artist. For a while, he owned a photography store, sold cameras and equipment, made decent money, but he hated it. He finally closed the store and began painting full-time. What Bill came to understand about his father is that his father was an artist. That was his calling. Maybe somewhat unfortunate for his family, but that was who he was. Why am I telling you this story? You may think you have no choice to be or not to be a physician, a dentist, physiotherapist, or pharmacist. Of course, some do, but most of you are here today at this ceremony because you are meant to be here. You're destined to be here. The process of becoming whatever you become is not an easy one, especially in the medical field you have chosen. You now move on for more education and training. Much of the sacrifice continues, and it will also a time that you will do real work, and hopefully a time you will find increasingly fascinating and profoundly rewarding. A wonderful thing about medical fields is the variety of work available. There are so many different areas in medicine, from pediatrics to geriatrics, from hospital physiotherapist to director of training from Manchester United, from oral surgeon to country dentist, from prison pharmacist to director of research for an international pharmaceutical company. By your success that this event today celebrates, we know that each of you are capable of any such endeavors. The first half of my career was in emergency medicine. Over the years, I staffed more than 10 different Chicago emergency departments. But as I grew older, it became increasingly difficult to endure the rotating and random assignments, evening shifts, day shifts, and nights. By chance, I met a physician who knew how to cure leg ulcers. These are miserable, mysterious, smelly, draining ankle wounds. You will see many of these in your career. These ulcers have always been and continue to be misunderstood and most frequently mistreated. Antibiotics are always given, but rarely needed. Surgical attempts have been futile. Amputations, unfortunately, are still recommended, and some are performed. Well, it turns out these ulcers are neither mysterious nor difficult to manage. I learned this from an Irish physician, Brian McDonough, who lived and worked in Chicago. Brian was one of the very few phlebologists in the United States at the time. A phlebotomist is one who specializes in the diagnosis and treatment of venous disorders. Until that time, I really knew nothing about veins. I had always thought veins were simply places to start IVs. I was fascinated as McDonough taught me the etiology and treatment of these venous ulcers, as well as the language of venous disease, reflux, venous hypertension, venous cyanosis, stasis dermatitis, and even restless leg syndrome, or RLS. To this day, RLS remains classified as a neurologic disorder, while the only cure remains sclerotherapy of varicose veins. At that serendipitous meeting, I began a preceptorship with Brian in the specialty of phlebology, and my life was transformed. It was truly a magical turn of events. The medical arena can become a very demanding and difficult environment. The responsibility you take on for human life is rare and never fully appreciated by those outside the professions. Like Bill Fofield's father, the artist, you are here today, and it is for a reason, perhaps not yet fully understood. But when you ask yourself during difficult times what exactly you are doing here in these professions you now find yourselves, I hope you will understand that truthfully you had no choice. And never forget, yours are noble professions, meaningful pursuits. My advice is to be courteous, kind, and respectful to your colleagues and ancillary staff who work very hard with you to make the right decisions, and especially to your patients, for it is your patients who will teach you medicine, and they will teach you who you truly are. Lastly, don't forget the rules. Do not be afraid to ask for help. Speak so that you are understood, and be honest. You cannot fix everything, and you cannot cure everyone. Far, far from it. Our professions are in the infancy stages. And your patients will look to you not for miracles, but for comfort, understanding, help, and support. Please do not let them down. May God bless you, good luck, and congratulations.
I want to warm welcome Dr. Jennifer Baker-Porazinski, graduated from the four-year MD English language program in 1997, holding diploma number 1, our first student and graduate. Welcome in Poland.
Today is a celebration of all your hard work and determination. Today not only marks the end of your rigorous training, but the exciting beginning of the rest of your life. As you know, I was a member of the very first medical class of English-speaking students to study in Poznan. I was student 0001. Although I haven't met most of you, I suspect we have a lot in common. Traveling to a foreign country in pursuit of a dream shows powerful drive and a willingness to take risks. A future job, though, is not a strong enough motive to take you away from your family and home. There are higher paying and equally respectable careers that you could have pursued in familiar surroundings. To make the sacrifices each one of you had to make to be here, there is a deeper reason, a passion to be of service to others. Poznan University of Medical Sciences was the first medical school in Poland to attempt to squeeze 6 years of time-tested curriculum into a 4-year model. When I arrived in 1993, there were many details to be worked out, including which English language medical texts should be used. There was no internet to order books from. Before coming to Poland, my mom and I drove to a medical bookstore in Philadelphia to buy the ones I thought I might need. We had no idea what was available here, and at the time, there really weren't any books available in English. Communication was also difficult. In Polish hospitals, at the time, there was no paging systems or beepers. When a nurse needed a doctor, she stuck her head out the door and yelled for one. Doctors reviewed their patients' blood work by sifting through piles of little papers kept loosely in a folder. There were no cell phones, and many homes did not have telephones. Communication to family at home was limited to letters, and given the workload, these were few and far between. I bring this up because the immense differences in how medicine was practiced in the US and Poland in 1997 when I graduated naturally led us new students to question our training. Were we good enough? Were we adequately prepared for the rigors of residency? I'm happy to report that we were. And with the advances of the internet and 21 years of experience this school now has in teaching English-speaking students, the answer to this question today is much clearer. You are good enough. The skills and knowledge taught to you by the excellent faculty here will serve you well in the future. Your own efforts to master and retain the voluminous material will pay off. What you need to cultivate now, which is probably a part of your personality by virtue of the fact that you're sitting out here, is your compassion and empathy. It's time to shift the focus from your studies to your patients. One of the ways I survived my fear of incompetence in the early days of my residency was to focus on treating my patients with respect and kindness. I figured that even if they discovered my inadequacy and realized I didn't always know what I was doing, at least they would feel that I had their best interest at heart. What began for me as a defense mechanism for my own insecurity became a natural way to care for patients. But as I became more confident in my medical abilities, I tried to emulate my mentors and keep a professional distance from my patients. This way of practicing medicine was believed to protect doctors from burning out. To my surprise, it was actually harder to care for patients from a safe distance. I realized it was easier to treat my elderly patients as I would treat my grandparents, to hold and kiss newborns as I did my own children. In essence, I discovered that I wanted to treat people the way I hoped my family members were treated when they went to the doctor. Although competence is required, most people don't choose their physician for superior knowledge anymore. They often think they can find all the answers they need on the internet. People want someone they know and trust as a partner, not a dictator in their health care. After years of uncertainty, I'm confident that I'm a much better and effective doctor when I empathize with my patients. Being a healthcare provider is a privilege. Patients share intimate stories, private thoughts, hopes, and fears with us. It is not necessary to force an arbitrary division between us and our patients. Our similarities are much greater than our differences. Somewhere along the way, medicine forgot the words taught to generations before us. In a lecture to Harvard medical students in 1925, Dr. Francis Peabody summarized the core of practicing medicine in a single sentence. One of the essential qualities of the clinician is interest in humanity, for the secret of the care of the patient is in caring for the patient. So the secret of caring for your patients is to care about your patients. As a healthcare provider, your words have profound impact on healing. Choose them carefully. Don't be afraid to touch your patients. Sit next to your patients, not above them. Look at them when they talk to you. With electronic medical records, it's easy to direct your attention towards the screen rather than looking at the person in front of you. It is also hard to lay a hand on a patient and type at the same time. Remember, it is okay to admit to yourself and your patients when you don't have an answer. You don't have to know everything. You only need to know where to look it up. It's okay to ask for help. You will do this throughout your career, and there will always be someone who knows more than you. Sometimes working in the intense and demanding health field, it is easy to forget about your own life. This doesn't need to be put on hold indefinitely while you save the world. I wanted to be a doctor, and I wanted a family. I had my first son in medical school, to the dismay of my Polish professors, I suspect. My second in residency, and my third in my first few years of work. While it wasn't easy, I knew there would never be a perfect time. Your priorities may be different. You may want to run a marathon, or write a book, or join Doctors Without Borders. A sure way to reduce stress is to pursue those things outside of your career that you are passionate about. You won't burn out if you learn to balance your life's work with your life. Say no to commitments that aren't life-enhancing. Direct your energies instead to following your passions with the same intensity that led you to school far from home. Take care of your health. Make time to exercise and eat well. Learn to meditate. While I think it is probably not possible to go through your training without being a great multitasker, try to curb this habit now and be more mindful about what's right before you. Live life today, not yesterday or tomorrow. Finally, with your training and diplomas, you have been given an extraordinary opportunity to better yourselves and to better your community. Go out and make a difference. I wish you all the very best in your journeys.
It is said that with this day, the easiest part of your life is over. Now you are standing on the threshold of a new stage in life. Bear with me, as these are not words of some old bitter folks. A couple of years from now, most of you will surely come to similar conclusions. And hopefully, you will be able to look back and take pride in the goals you have achieved and the people you have become. You have reached the desired aim, but remember that success is not a destination, but a continuous journey, and while you aspire for the future, you should never neglect the present. Ferris Bueller once said, "Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it." Now is probably a good time to take a moment and consider every person who contributed to your success. It is the time for big thank yous. To teachers who shared with you their knowledge and wisdom, and mind yourself not to mistake these two. To friends who walked the path of education beside you, who frequently were there to hear your either bad or good news, and who, whichever it was, shared the moments with you. And the biggest of all, to your families, people who raised you, parents, grandparents, siblings. They have been there for you in moments of both great joy and deep sadness. They never lost faith in you. They encouraged you to aim high, but to keep your feet on the ground. I would like to wish you all the best in your professional and personal future. And while you face up to new challenges, don't forget to learn how to chill out, or else you'll burn out. And remember to reward yourself for your efforts. give yourself a pat on the back and say, well done. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of our graduating class, I would like to thank our faculty, Dean's office, family, and friends for your support and encouragement through these years as we work towards achieving our dreams and goals. We thank you for being here today as we embark on a new chapter in our lives, a chapter centered on giving back to communities around the world while continuing to evolve our medical skills and knowledge that are rooted here in Poznan. Before beginning this journey, I was given a book written by Dr. Seuss titled, "Oh, the Places You'll Go." I'd like to take the time now to end with a few excerpts pertaining to our past, present, and future. Congratulations! Today is your day. You're off to great places, you're off and away. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the guy who'll decide where to go. Oh, the places you'll go. You'll be on your way up, you'll be seeing great sights. You'll join the high flyers who soar to high heights. You won't lag behind because you'll have the speed. You'll pass the whole gang and you'll soon take the lead. Wherever you fly, you'll be the best of the best. Wherever you go, you will top all the rest. Oh, the places you'll go. There's fun to be done, there are points to be scored. There are games to be won, and the magical things you can do with that ball will make you the winningest winner of all. Except when they don't, because sometimes they won't. I'm afraid that sometimes you'll play lonely games too. Games you can't win because you'll play against you. All alone, whether you like it or not, alone will be something you'll be quite a lot. And when you're alone, there's a very good chance you'll meet things that scare you right out of your pants. There are some down the road between hither and yon that can scare you so much you won't want to go on. But on you will go, though the weather be foul. On you will go, though your enemies prowl. Onward up many a frightening creek, though your arms may get sore and your sneakers may leak. On and on you will hike, and I know you'll hike far, and face up to your problems, whatever they are. You'll get mixed up, of course, as you already know. You'll get mixed up with many strange birds as you go. Be sure when you step with care and great tact. And remember that life's a great balancing act. Just never forget to be dexterous and deft, and never mix up your right foot with your left. And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. Kid, you'll move mountains. So be your name Andre or Larry or Gary the Fourth. You're off to great places. Today's your day, your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. Congratulations, and good luck in your journey ahead. Always remember that when faced with obstacles, you are more resilient than you realize. In the end, in every difficulty, there lies opportunity. Thank you. I would like to honor several distinct faculty members. Dr. Andrzej Jawień, Dr. Marcin Kucharski,
Today, we are appreciating, celebrating, and savoring our past 6 years, the beginning of our medical journey. When we first arrived here in 2008, we had all kinds of preconceived notions of medical school and the life of a medical student. But actually being in school is significantly different and much more complex than expected. But before we get to that, let's take a step back and think about where we are right now. We're in Poland, a place where very few had experience prior to Inauguration Day. Poznan University of Medical Science, our home for the past 6 years. Whew. For most, coming here meant long-distance flight, long layovers with only 2 suitcases. I remember entering Medic, my first dorm, and had a roommate. And one can only imagine what a shared 20 square meter room meant for privacy. And we lived together for 2 years. Escolab didn't look like it when we first started. Do you remember the gray building and the elevator they had in that building with the doors that wouldn't even close, and when you enter, you can actually touch the wall? Very scary. Then we had our first course, pre-course. Yeah, I can see the smiles on the faces, because technically it wasn't a course, but more like a social gathering and a big blur. Soon after, we started basic science courses, biophysics, where we had more nicknames for the teachers than for our own friends. Histology, with the never-ending aisles of seat that extended so far that we wouldn't see even the teacher's face. And that only exciting moment between all these histo slides, which, by the way, look all the same, was that unforgettable incident when the water heater busted. Even that heater couldn't take it anymore. Biochemistry. Oh, they made sure that we know our biochemistry. I wouldn't even elaborate on that subject, but we passed. You would think that we would get better going into clinical rotation after all those basic science classes, but no. In fact, it got worse. For our 4th and 5th year, we had to deal with long rotations, endless clinical hours, followed by even longer library hours, studying for one of those MBMEs. You don't even know which day of the week it is, and you're happy for the weekend only because you can start studying in the morning. And that very moment when medical jokes start becoming really funny, congratulations, you're officially a medical student. In our last year, facing reality, being overwhelmed with all these repetitive questions such as, which specialty, which city, which country, made me wish to be 3rd year or even 1st year again, when all these questions wouldn't matter. The only important question was, which book is the best? What is the one and only book you have to read? By the way, there's no such thing. But while I was sitting in the library, nostalgically reminiscing all these happy moments we had together, all these parties and Polowinki, Halloween, Valentine, the cold beer or the delicious coffee we had on the Rynek. I had students sitting next to me, and I could overhear the conversations about pathology seminars and pharmacology. I started looking around, and all I saw were students with their noses in books so close that I'm sure they're hoping to learn by osmosis. And suddenly, I remember all that pain and stress and sweat, heart palpitation, hair loss. Just imagine taking another one of those MBMEs and these unpredictable department exams. I was positive we are ready to graduate. I won't lie. We all went through a phase of depression, frustration, anger, and even regret, because medicine is a very enduring subject to study. And after a while, you start hating anyone not in medical school who claim to be busy. So it's very good to know what stress limit you can take, having one exam after another without knowing if you would make it through. But the fact that we are graduating today let us know that we can overcome these and other obstacles. Therefore, we would like to thank the people who were there for us, believing in us more than we did, taking these late-night calls and messages, or whatever digital communication system possible out there right now, who gave us kisses and hugs, a shoulder to cry, and knew exactly what to say in that right moment. That person could be your mother, your father, siblings, significant others, your friends, grandparents, the internet, maybe a stranger in the bar, and of course, our dear classmates. Fact is, they wouldn't be here today receiving this diploma without you, our support system. So, thank you. And now, please look at my class over there. These are people who would never take a no as an answer, considering the amount of petitions we wrote to the dean's office together. It takes courage and strength to leave your comforting home, family, your friends, and your country where you've been living your whole life to come to Poland to study medicine. Every single person has contributed with their language, their background, and culture to the diversity of this great class. You, my dear class, made this so special, so unique. Looking back, I cannot even imagine how my life would be, how I would be without this exposure. Listening to the sound of these different languages, Polish, English, Norwegian, Taiwanese, Swedish, German, Japanese. Tasting the food from different corners of the world, experiencing Canadian and American Thanksgiving, Norwegian Christmas parties, Taiwanese or Chinese New Year, Polish Easter, Juvenalia, Halloween. What we will receive today is not just a degree or a golden ticket for our future. What I can say for sure, though, is that medicine has unlimited options and endless possibilities for self-realization. And as much as we all have things to complain about our school, with their regulations, quirks, obsessions with stamps, and of course this index, we all know this school gives us this great opportunity. But you, the students, give each other the perspective. When you look at life, 6 years is actually a very short period of time. I do not know where our paths will take each of us from now on, but when we started back in 2008, no one would have ever guessed what a wonderful, fulfilling time we would have here together. This will always be a part of us as individuals. Medicine brought us together, and it will always remain, we will always remain connected through it. And now I want you to look to the right and look to the left. Look at the people who you're graduating together. Shake their hands and give each other a hug. Take the time, breathe this moment in, and enjoy. Appreciate the great experience we had here in Poznan, and celebrate our achievements. Celebrate that we are doctors. So one more time, thank you to the university, faculty, and everyone who supported us. And thank you, my class, for coming here and making our time together unforgettable. A very popular one, Dr. Andrzej Jawin. Dr. Waldemar Miszka.
On behalf of the graduates of the DDS program, I would like to share a few words with you. A lot has been said, but not all of it. It's been a long journey for all of us. For some it was harder, for some it was easier. But then looking back at it, time did seem to be going faster and faster, no matter what, leaving us with less and less time for leisures and bringing us closer and closer to the fact that we're coming to an end of our journey here, and that it was possible to achieve what we came here to achieve. So with us being here now, we prove to ourselves and all who surround us here today that yes, we did it. We set our minds on it and we succeeded. So I would personally like to congratulate you all, and now onward to celebrate our achievement and our achievement of becoming doctors, dentists, pharmacists, and physiotherapists. We are now ready to take on the responsibility of becoming respected practitioners in these medical fields. But I believe our real journey will start now, though, and that it is up to us to make the best out of it. Everyone always says that the student life is the best, and I think that each and every one of you would agree with me, reflecting upon their own personal journey here. And may this collection of memories stay with you forever, and may you take the lessons that you have learned and apply them to your life. Some of the most important things we have learned in our lives, we have learned during our studies here. Use these lessons throughout your life and your personal evolution, and do what we're all meant to do, and that is to grow. In future, we will be facing hard challenges, but also new joys which come with life, such as finding our soulmates, if not already found. Mine helped me with my speech. Thank you, Matilda. I love you. Also, establishing fruitful careers, raising families, and enjoying the lives we built for ourselves. We will be working hard to ensure a great future for our loved ones, but this also includes looking out for our dear Mother Nature, more than past generations have been. I'm sorry, but it's true. Because remember, the latex gloves we use that keep us from contamination, the gutta percha that we use in root canal treatments that keep your teeth pain-free, medications and million other absolute necessities were all given to us by our planet, and it's up to us to handle these things with care and appreciation so that our future generations also have something from it, as well as clean lakes and oceans to swim in, or garbage-free countrysides and mountains to hike and ski on. So, be the change that you wish to see in the world, as Gandhi said. But dear colleagues, now doctors, no matter what opinions you might have on how you spent your time here, never forget to be grateful for the experiences and life lessons that you have witnessed here, and never forget to cherish and appreciate the positive connections you have made with many parts of this beautiful world, from Norway to Taiwan to Canada, the southern of Canada, USA, yeah, Europe, and many, many more. All thanks to this university. Some graduates here I only know from seeing. Other graduates I know very well, and we have spent lots of great times together. But nevertheless, to all of you, all the best for your future and years to come. And as our #1 English student said, follow your passion. Thank you. The next award goes to a whole department because they have shown compassion, especially for the dentists. I would like to nominate this award to the maxillofacial surgery department.
This school is not for everyone. This school is not for just anyone either. In fact, I believe anyone going to med school in the first place is a masochistic gambler. You're putting yourself through a series of self-induced mental tribulations, all in the hope that one day it will be worth it. So why do we do it? Some of us just thought it was the next logical step. Some of us had a loved one here. And some of us relied on pure grit to push through, and I think you are the craziest of them all. I mean, what would have happened if you did not make it here today? All in all, some of you have found placements or jobs, residencies. In essence, you have all cashed out, and you're all in for one hell of a ride. The rest of us are still gambling. We will be up against home-trained graduates, graduates with connections in their respective fields in our countries. However, we will come out strong. We will fight for our placements, and we will prove ourselves better. Grit, logic, love, whatever it was that brought you here, have it ready once again, because the true test of strength is coming soon. And I have faith in all my heart that all of you have what it takes to overcome whatever bureaucratic junk they throw at us. You all deserve the best, and that is what you'll get. Go get them, Poznan. So now I'd like to thank 3 professors that had a particularly intimate role in getting us here today. Professor Franciszek Główka. Dr. Gergely Górniak. Dr. Danuta Szkutik-Fiedler. Dziękuję Państwu za przybycie w tym szczególnym dniu. Życzę miłego pobytu w Poznaniu, choć z pewnością nie będzie on tak wyjątkowy jak nasz pobyt tutaj. Thank you all for listening. Take care.
I know that 3 years of physiotherapy doesn't sound like much in comparison to all the years you guys have been staying here in Poznan, but I'm sure I can say on behalf of my physiotherapy class that we are just as excited and of course relieved to be here today. It's such a good feeling, so good job everybody. Even though I'm quite ready to have some time off from studies right now to try to work and have a little taste of the adult life, I'm sure I'm going to miss my cute class of 3. It's such a weird experience to only be 3 people in the whole year of physiotherapy. We never had the opportunity to fall asleep in any of the classes. We could never hide from participation in anything. Sometimes, or mostly, it's kind of nerve-wracking, but I guess it's mostly beneficial for all of us. From now on, I think it's going to be good to see some other faces as well every day, even though I like yours very much, Ibrahim and Anna. I would like to take this opportunity to thank my mom and dad who drove all the way from Norway to attend to my graduation today. And they are even driving all my stuff back to Norway. That's dedication. You're definitely the most wonderful parents in the world. Thank you so much. And for all you graduates, I really hope you enjoyed your years here in Poznan and that you have a lot of good memories and not only late nights of studying and hard work. And if that's the case, you should really take some time now at the end to really enjoy Poznan, because I think it's best to end this relationship on good terms. And finally, I would like to thank our teaching staff. You're taking really good care of us. Thank you. And to you graduates, congratulations. Good work and lots of good luck in the future. Thank you. I would also like to give out some presents to our 3 favorite teachers from physiotherapy. So please come up, Katarzyna Galasinska, and Małgorzata Kowalska, and finally, Przemysław Jasiorski.
And at this moment, I would like to invite the rector to present certificates to the outstanding students for the class of 2014.
The awards for high grades go to Judyta Lipińska for MD. An award for outstanding contribution to the development of academic life and student activities within English programs, Student Union EPUSU, goes to Asuka Krop.
Awards in recognition of active participation in academic life and student activities within the English program Student Union EPSU go to Kaja Pluta and Maciej Zelek. Awards in recognition of active participation in student activities within the Association of Norwegian Students Abroad, ANSA, go to Hanne Warlo, Maud Rigal Jorgensen, Ida Berg Storaker, Nina Viladen, and Ule Petter Knudsen.
Awards in recognition of active participation in academic life and student activities go to Chelsea Unruch and Kevin Kratiuk.
Awards in recognition of active participation in student activities within residential advisors go to Jakub Kądzielewa, Brandon Mitchell, Amar Kamar, Sabina Pastor, and William Wojtusiak.
The awards for active participation in sport activities go to Anna Milczarek, physiotherapy. Nadine Buzolik, 6-year MD. Marek Szczygieł, 6 MD. And Eva Halva, 6-year MD. We would like to invite the rector and the dean to award the graduates their diplomas.
The new physicians and dentists of the graduating class of 2014 will take their Hippocratic oath.
Accepting with respect and gratitude the comfort title of physician and being fully aware of the responsibilities involved with it. I do solemnly swear to fulfill my duties conscientiously, to prevent suffering and disease, to the best of my knowledge, and to help bring relief to the sick, irrespective of any differences, as to their race, religion, nationality, political views, or financial status. Always bearing in mind the patient welfare and showing them due respect, not to betray their confidence, and keep private all knowledge concerning the patients, even after their death. To protect the dignity of medical profession, not to dishonor it, to treat my colleagues with due kindness, without questioning patient confidence towards them. Yet at the same time acting impartially and having in mind the welfare of the patient under my care. To widen my professional knowledge and to share with the medical world all that I shall be able to discover, invent and improve. I do solemnly swear. Thank you. Well done.
I declare the ceremony closed. Thank you very much, everyone.